Newsom, it recently resurfaced that he had dated a 19-year-old when he was 39, had an affair with the wife of a campaign manager, and was addicted to alcohol. Or as Hunter calls it, amateur.
There is no bigger fan of Gavin Newsom than Bill Maher. He loves the guy. Bill, snap out of it. And he had Gavin Newsom on his show on Friday night. Couple of sound bites making the rounds, including this one on the trans issue, SOT 19.
A lot of people lately talking about this 80-20 issue, and I think you are on the other side of this now, the side with the 80. 80 being 80% of the people in this country. Again, this is the issue of should biologically born men be able to compete in women's sports.
That's tough.
And, I saw the polling here in California.
What do you get when you mix Gavin Newsom's overpriced hair routine with the processing power of a broken Roomba? A walking PR stunt so overpolished it blinds you, then bores you to death. But not this time. Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly didn't just call it out, they torched the entire California circus. And let's just say, the flames were spectacular.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whorehouse. Who hasn't?
What's a condom?
But as always, when a far-left Dem runs for national office, he acts like a Republican.
This wasn't just a roast, it was a full-blown political barbecue. If smugness ever got drop-kicked into reality, this was it. Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly didn't hold back, they lit up the California dream like it owed them rent. And if you've ever wondered what happens when media glam slams headfirst into brutal common sense, buckle up. This roast made wildfires look like birthday candles. Now, on to the main character in this chaotic comedy, Gavin Newsom. He's like ordering a kale smoothie thinking it's healthy, then taking a sip of betrayal blended with wet lawn clippings. The man's a slick-talking, silver-haired salesman of recycled slogans, selling leadership like it's a TikTok trend, somewhere between influencer delusion and a musical flop called Dictators, the miscast. And that forehead? So shiny it reflects broken promises in full HD. If hypocrisy had a brand deal, Newsom would be the face, hair gel, smug grin, and all. Greg and Megyn didn't just roast him, they slow-cooked him. They torched the fake charm, carved up the spin, and plated him on a silver tray of gluten-free dysfunction. With Gavin Newsom, the roast writes itself. He's basically a political piñata stuffed with broken promises and recycled NPR monologues. And every time you take a swing, a brand new ridiculous idea tumbles out.
Gavin ponders why Dems lost.
We lost the popular vote and we lost the electoral vote. We got crushed, and we need to be humble about that, and we need to have some grace, and we need to understand why. Was it because of the incumbency penalty? Was it because of inflation? Was it because of interest rates? Was it because of immigration? Was it because we were too, quote unquote, woke? Was it because of the issues with Israel? Was it all of the above? I think we are going through that forensic. We need to understand it. At the same time, we also have to push back against the whitewaters and headwinds of the Trump administration.
Kennedy, I think the answer is yes.
Let's start with Gavin Newsom's favorite trick, acting morally superior while California spirals into what looks like the aftermath of a raccoon rave in a Whole Foods parking lot. Under his leadership, the state isn't just dysfunctional, it's a high-tech train wreck, powered by overpriced smugness and solar panels that apparently only work on Tuesdays. Greg Gutfeld nailed it when he said Newsom governs like a guy who speed-read How to Tank an Economy for Dummies and mistook it for a vision board. And Megyn Kelly? She came at him like a lioness spotting a tofu-stuffed deer in a Gucci belt, no mercy, no filter, just pure carnage. Newsom's economic game plan? It's like watching TikTok dancers on the edge of a financial cliff, flashy, uncoordinated, and doomed to crash. And let's not forget the crown jewel of hypocrisy, locking down the state like it was Jurassic Park, while sneaking off to the French Laundry to sip overpriced wine and nibble on elitism. He told everyone else to suffer while he dined like royalty. And yeah, people noticed.
Gavin Newsom claims he only noticed Biden's cognitive decline once during the 4 years Biden was in office. And that one time was when Biden endorsed Gavin Newsom. According to a new poll, the city with the most STDs in the nation is Detroit.
Gutfeld barely needed to write jokes. Gavin Newsom's real life plays like a comedy sketch written by a drunk lobbyist on a red-eye flight. Picture it, he's sipping $700 wine from a glass so pretentious it probably has Wi-Fi, preaching, stay home, save lives, while his perfectly sculpted hair, likely held in place by the crushed dreams of small business owners, doesn't move an inch. He shut California down like it was the dramatic finale of his own reality show. No plan. No strategy. Just vibes. And Megyn Kelly? She didn't let it slide. She came in swinging, deadpanning that if hair gel had feelings, it would have filed a restraining order on Gavin Newsom by now.
Fundamental question, is it fair? And I can give you example after example. Just in my home state, there was someone that won a triple jump by 8 feet.
Right.
It was fundamentally unfair. We haven't been able to figure that out.
You see, the right has weaponized. One might even say they pounced, Emily, on this issue.
I mean, yeah, of course. It was the right who was just so excited to talk about bathrooms and locker rooms. They just couldn't resist.
Now let's talk about Gavin Newsom's signature achievement, homelessness. Under his watch, California didn't just tolerate tent cities, it institutionalized them. It's the first state where sidewalks come with zoning codes. Homelessness didn't rise, it skyrocketed, like one of Newsom's empty climate pledges, straight into the stratosphere. But don't worry, Gavin swears he cares. Because nothing says compassion like turning Venice Beach into a live-action Mad Max sequel, only this version has more fentanyl, fewer morals, and a cameo from your local city council, ducking every ounce of responsibility. And Gutfeld? He was on fire. Newsom cares, he mocked, the same way your ex who ghosted you cares, just enough to look good on Instagram.
Gavin's hands. It's time for Gavin's hands.
Welcome to a new segment called Gavin's Hands. He keeps his hands in motion and his hair full of lotion. True, Gavin's views may be idiotic, but his hands moves, well, they're hypnotic. California Governor Newsom's new podcast is out. It's available wherever fine hair care products are sold. And we couldn't help but notice an unintended delight, his unique hand gestures.
Meanwhile, Californians are out here dodging used needles like they're training for Olympic fencing, praying a Whole Foods opens before another open-air meth lounge does. And Gavin Newsom's proudest achievement? Turning the state's power grid into a moody diva with a gambling problem, one flick of the switch and boom, blackout. He didn't just mismanage the system, he glamorized the collapse. Let's talk about energy bills. Under Newsom, flipping on a light feels like you just signed a lease in Manhattan. Electricity prices are so outrageous, your toaster might as well be mining Bitcoin. His obsession with green energy? It's not policy, it's a full-blown cult. He treats wind turbines like holy monuments and solar panels like his emotional support animals, completely detached from how real people actually live. And then Megyn Kelly came in swinging. She ripped through the illusion, saying Newsom's idea of saving the planet is banning plastic straws while half the state burns like a bonus level in Dante's Inferno. Honestly, Gavin, how are we supposed to sip our $9 oat milk through soggy bamboo if the entire zip code is on fire? But don't worry, he posted something. Stand by.
What he posted, stand by. It's amazing. Okay, he posts the following. California, under the leadership of radical left Democrat Gavin Newsom, continues to illegally allow men to play in women's sports. This week, a transition male athlete, meaning a male pretending to be a female, at a major event won everything and is now qualified to compete in the state finals next weekend. As a male, He was a less than average competitor. All true. As a female, this transition person is practically unbeatable. This is not fair and totally demeaning to women and girls. Please be hereby advised that large-scale federal funding will be held.
But hey, at least the napkins are compostable. Priorities, right? Now let's talk about the real circus, crime in California. Shoplifting under $950? Basically a state-sanctioned sport at this point. It's not even theft anymore, it's self-checkout with confidence. Restorative justice is just PR speak for handing out gift baskets to burglars and praying they don't leave you a 1-star Yelp review. Gavin's law and order strategy? It's like trying to police anarchy with yoga mantras and TED Talk quotes. Defund the police didn't just linger, it morphed into a business model. And Greg Gutfeld nailed it. California's crime wave isn't theft, it's ambitious borrowing. Retailers are locking up deodorant like it's Cartier, and security guards look like they just got back from a tour in a war zone, only instead of combat pay, they get trauma and minimum wage. And Newsom's genius fix? Blame Texas. Because when things fall apart in your own backyard, why take responsibility when you can just outsource the guilt?
Absolutely the right, who just couldn't wait to make an issue out of transgender kids. I mean, this is why Gavin Newsom, I think, is having a hard time on his rehabilitation tour as he's launched his podcast. And it's because he's it's impossible for him to run from his actual record because he can't fully disavow it. He can't fully get away from it. It's like how he said, nobody in our office ever used Latinx. And then a million clips were produced of Gavin Newsom himself, let alone his office, saying the word Latinx. He can't fully divorce himself from the last 10 years.
While the whole state's burning, literally and politically, what's Gavin Newsom doing? Pointing fingers east and hoping no one notices his Gucci loafers slowly sinking into a puddle of his own failures. Now let's talk about the real heartbreak, schools. California's education system under Newsom became a full-blown disaster movie, minus the hero. He kept public schools shut down longer than most political careers. Kids were trying to learn algebra through glitchy Zoom calls with audio so bad it felt like their teacher was reporting live from Mars. Meanwhile, Gavin was out there giving equity speeches, standing on what looked like a gold-plated yoga mat. And guess what? Private schools, like the one his own kids attend, stayed open. Business as usual. Coincidence? Only if you believe in fairy tales and budget surpluses. Then came Megyn Kelly with the knockout line. Public education in California feels like a substitute teacher who's not only hungover, but allergic to facts. Under Newsom, math scores nosedived faster than his credibility. Loud. Fast. Brutal. Kids left the system knowing more about microaggressions than multiplication, and somehow, that was framed as progress.